Episode 13 of Just Luke Show. So, a lot going on. Obviously, the world is crazy, but we have a lot of craziness that's happening in Europe where we're going to talk about. As far as personal stuff, nothing really, just work and podcasting. And what about you, Danny? Anything new, interesting, exciting?
Just dealing with a lot of new home stuff, constant projects, uh, getting a new car.
What kind of car?
I decided to go with a Ford Fusion hybrid, something with good miles per gallon. You know, I basically most of my driving life has been driving a sports car, which has always been nice, driving a Mustang GT. But as fun as that was, I mean, do I really need a sports car? Do I really need to be wasting all that money and gas? I mean, 38, not that cool anymore. I don't need my primary car to be a sports car anymore. I need something that's more cost efficient, especially as a homeowner now and just looking at bills, costs, and everything else. Just be smarter with money. That's where I'm at. Other than that, just the grind day to day.
Yep,
Yourself?
the grind. So let's just jump in real quick. Exciting news. The All-Star game's coming up soon, and one of Arizona's own is a starting outfielder for them, Corbin Carroll. First time. I mean, obviously he's a rookie. He's going to be starting as a starting outfielder for the All-Star game. He got voted in. I can't think of the last time the Diamondbacks had a starting outfielder. I can't remember. I think Goldschmidt was the last starter for the Diamondbacks in the All-Star game. But as far as an outfielder, has Arizona ever had a starting outfielder? I don't think so. I hope someone in the comments says something and puts it in there. But I don't remember anyone worthy of being voted by the fans to be a starter for the outfield and for the Diamondbacks. But this is exciting. I love watching the D-backs. I love this young team. A lot of energy. This kid is a stud. Like high average, steals a lot, hits bombs. He's a small dude. I mean, he looks like a small dude, but he plays so big in that outfield. So I don't know if you got a chance to watch any games yet, Danny, but I'm telling you, if you do, this guy's going to be here for a long time.
I need to be on top of it, 100%. I've not seen games, but I do see it on my feed, and I read up about it a lot. It's just something that needs to for me to sit down and watch the games. Right now, I'm just so busy with a lot of things, but I will find time eventually, or maybe record some games. I'll watch more highlights. I can find time to watch some highlights for the Diamondbacks because it is a team that I should be paying more attention to. They're going to be a playoff team, and that's exciting. This is going to be a team that's going to be a winning team for years to come. So I'm excited for that for Arizona.
Well, they have a lot of young talent, which is team friendly, under control. Yeah, they're exciting. Yeah, they're in first place. Hopefully they can keep that, at least get into the playoffs, because still the Dodgers are still a hot team. The Giants are right behind them as well. So to keep those two teams off of your back is going to be very hard for the D-backs, but I'm all with them. As long as they get in the playoffs, that's all it takes, and then you can get hot from there, and nothing else really matters. I don't know. Can you look up the All-Star starters this year so we can go down real quick and see who's playing? I'll give you my opinion of what's what. So we have, here you go, American League starters. Yona Heim, catcher for Texas. Yandy Diaz, wow, he beat out Guerrero. That's interesting. Marcus Semien, he's a stud in Texas. Look at Texas with the rookie Josh Young at third base. That's another guy, another rookie that's going to be starting third baseman. That's really good. Corey Seager, of course, he's a stud shortstop. Mike Trout, who I think is one of the top 3 baseball players, he has been for the last decade. Randy Rosarena and Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani top out the American League. Real quick, look at Texas. 1, 2, 3, 4 starters.
I see like 3 teams on here.
Start 2, and yeah, you're right. Holy cow! Tampa has 2 starters. The Angels have 2 starters. The thing with Aaron Judge is he's hurt, won't be in the All-Star game. So the next man up, I think, is Garcia from Texas. So it's going to be a 3-team starting lineup: Texas, Tampa, and Angels. That's pretty interesting. So do we have the NL? There we go. Starting off, Sean Murphy is the catcher. Freddie Freeman, of course, is first base. Luis Reza, Miami. Nolan Arenado is the third baseman. This is a surprise. Orlando Arcia is going to be the starting shortstop over Francisco Lindor. And then you got Acuna, Betts, our guy Carroll in the outfield. JD Martinez having a great year for the Dodgers. You know, that's amazing. But look at Atlanta has what? 1, 2, 3 starters. Atlanta has 8 players going to the All-Star game. They have a bunch of players on reserve that are going as well. So, you know, good for you guys. All-Star game is going to be exciting. I can't wait. I'm excited. Does anything pop off? I know you used to be a Braves fan when you were younger.
Yeah, that was back in the Chipper Jones days, but I haven't really been following that much. I mean, I don't even follow baseball that much, but I do need to get back into it. So I am happy to be talking about baseball with you, though, so I can catch up.
Yeah, there's some names on here that I don't see. Fernando Tatis, Manny Machado, Soto. Those are 3 San Diego players that are not on this list. San Diego is also has the second largest payroll, and they're horrible. Mets have the highest, and they're horrible. Pitchers, here we go. First time selections: Batista, Cano, both from Baltimore. Luis Castillo in Seattle is his 3rd time going. Emmanuel Claus from Cleveland, 2nd time. Garrett Cole, Yankees, 6th time going up. Nathan Eovaldi from Texas, 2nd time. Kevin Guzman in Toronto, 2nd time going. Sonny Gray having a great year in Minnesota, his 3rd time going in there. Kinsley Jansen is in Boston, it's his 4th time going. Michael Lorenz is in Detroit. He used to play in Cincinnati. He used to play at the Angels. 1st time going. I'm kind of happy to see that. He's a real good dude. It's exciting that he's going. Shane McClanahan from Tampa Bay, 2nd time going. Shohei, he's going to be pitching as well, and not just DH, 3rd time going. Framber Valdez, super stud in Houston, 2nd time going. So that's pretty exciting. What's the National League have? Here we go with a bunch of Atlanta Braves players. First of all, Alexis Diaz, Cincinnati, 1st time going. Let's see, Camilo Duval, San Francisco, 1st time going. Bryce Elder, Atlanta, 1st time going. I'm surprised he's going. That's good for him. Our guy Zach Gallen, Arizona, 1st time going. Josiah Gray from Washington. He used to be in the Dodgers system. That's real cool that he's going. 1st time going. Josh Hader in San Diego, 5th time going. Mitch Keller in Pittsburgh, 1st time going. A lot of guys 1st time going, like Spencer Strider in Atlanta, 1st time going. Spencer Strider could be the top NL pitcher. He might win the Cy Young. It's going to be up to him and Zach Gallen. Clayton Kershaw, 10th time going. Amazing. Stud pitchers. Justin Steele in Chicago is going to have a great career there. 1st time going. Marcus Stroman in the Cubs having a great year. 2nd time going. And Devin Williams, relief pitcher in Milwaukee, 2nd time going. Congratulations. And I think we have, keep going because we have to get to the reserves. Here's the reserves in the American League. Salvador Perez and Rauschman are going to be catching 8th time for Salvador. Atlee Rushman's 1st time for Baltimore. National League, wow, Will Smith, 1st time going. He's a really good catcher. I can't believe this is the first All-Star game he's going. Elias Diaz, Colorado, 1st time going. So that's your catchers. American League infielders, Bo Bichette, 2nd All-Star. Vladimir Guerrero, 3rd All-Star. Whit Merrifield, 3rd All-Star. All those guys are Toronto Blue Jay players. Jose Ramirez, 5th time going. He's a stud from Cleveland. National League infielders are, keep scrolling down. There we go. 3 Atlanta Brave guys on there and 1 ex-Atlanta Brave. Dansby Swanson, 2nd time going for the Cubs. So you got Matt Olson and Austin Riley, 2nd time going for Braves. Ozzie Albies, 3rd time going for Atlanta. Pete Alonso, 3rd time for the Mets. So that's pretty good. And you should have the outfielders. The American League outfielders, there I was talking about Garcia, 2nd time going. Jordan Alves, 2nd time going for Houston. Austin Haynes, 1st time. And Luis Robert, 1st time for the Chicago White Sox. And then we should have the National League, and we should be done. Oh, then we have DH, too. So National League outfielders, Nick Castellanos, 2nd time. He's going. Juan Soto, third time going for the Padres. And Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Arizona, first time going. He's having a great year. His career just took off here in Arizona this year after that trade that sent Varsho to Toronto. And then you have Brent Roker that's going for the Oakland A's, and Jorge Solar of Miami. Both first-time selections to the All-Star break. So that's it. That's all we have for the All-Star. I think it's a fun game. I still like watching. I think the MLB All-Star game is the best All-Star game for any of the major sports, because hockey All-Star game is all right. The NBA All-Star game, no one's playing. It's like backyard basketball. And then they don't know what they're doing with football, right? Like, I think the last one was flag football.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't there an incentive to win the All-Star game?
For baseball, yes. I think it's if whatever team wins, that division gets home field advantage for the playoffs.
Playoffs or World Series?
Or for the World Series.
That's what I thought.
Which is cool.
So not do any of the other major sports
there's no
teams
other incentives for the other one.
Okay. Having an All-Star, that makes it exciting.
Yeah. Because you're American League, you're looking at a bunch of your teammates that you're all contending you're all going to be in the playoffs. The majority of those players are going to be in the playoffs. And they're like, hey, let's win this game for each other, because whoever gets to the World Series will have home field advantage. But there's also an incentive for the home run derby. So the winner of the home run derby gets $1 million.
Oh, that's fun.
That's a lot of fun. Pete Alonso was like I believe he won it his rookie year. He's under a rookie contract, which isn't a lot of money. And then he won that and got $1 million, which was really cool, really interesting. He gave some of that money away too to veterans, which was really cool for him to do. So it's an incentive to win that as well. And the home run derby's always been one of the more exciting things to watch on All-Star Weekend. What else we got?
Anything else you want to talk about for baseball? I mean, I feel like Arizona fans need to get back on it like they did back 20 years ago, right?
Yeah. Wow. Back in the Gonzo days, when they had that run, games were being sold out. Those were fun years. And it was on TV, which was great. Now you can't watch Diamondbacks game unless you have, I think, Cox. Dish.
It's not on local channels?
It's not on local channels.
Yeah, we had the discussion last week. That's so
it
lame.
sucks. It really sucks. And they need to fix that because you'll have more kids interested in baseball. It's every day. You could watch, kids can come home from school, get your homework done, come home from practice, and turn on the rest of the game. See what's going on. Now you can't. It's a waste. It sucks. It's a wasted opportunity for Arizona, for the D-backs. They need to put that on Channel 3. Make it local. Something. Or at least ESPN. Or I don't know, Fox Sports or something.
Well, that's still cable, though. I mean, that's no different from Bally's.
Yeah, at least you could probably stream it if you have like YouTube TV or Hulu TV. But it should be Channel 3. It should be just...
or Channel 5, like something just all you need is a TV and an antenna. That's it.
TV and antennas where people can, because everything's so dang expensive. Like they need to realize, like, hey man, a lot of people are cutting their TV streaming bills, this and that, because they have to eat or pay rent. Let's at least reward them and put the D-backs on Channel 3 so everyone can watch it on ABC or something.
Yeah, I mean, at least local sports, rather, should be free for the local audience. Because, they're already going to riddle it with commercials anyway, between innings. And whenever there's a pitcher coming up, a relief pitcher. So why not just put it on local sports? Because you put it on cable, and then you're going to riddle it with commercials. And it's just... Our society, I feel like we're just fatigued with all the subscriptions that's out there. Bills are bad enough, your utilities. You have to have that. That's like the first subscription ever. TV, and like, oh, okay, good deals, a huge library of movies, and then you start adding TV shows, like, oh, that's cool. And then now you have to get either the Cox or DirecTV for more cable channels, like, okay, here's another subscription. And then there's software out there now, your Microsoft software for subscriptions, and then there's Adobe if you need Adobe products, and everyone has a subscription these days. It's just exhausting. It's like, oh my gosh, like, I really limit on all these subscriptions that I have, and I audit myself all the time to see what do I need and what do I not need. There's a lot that I just don't need.
Well, we just had that right now, looking for some information, like all these other, free stuff on the internet. Oh, look at this link. We pull it up, and then they want you to subscribe to their channel or their news station or whatever it is. And it's like, dude, I just want the information. I don't need to sign up. Yes, it's 99 cents, but
Well, okay, you first, okay, you can't get certain sports, so you have to get the local team. Yeah, I mean, to get to watch the local team, you have to get the subscription for, let's say, cable. If you want to watch other teams, you have to get another subscription to watch all the games across, like, say, the NBA or NFL. So, and then if you want to watch, other organizations like hockey and whatnot, you have to get their subscription. It's just like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. I'm now paying almost 4 digits a month just to watch what I want. I don't think I need it that badly.
yeah, like we have Hulu because we watch football, soccer on there, and Hulu's pretty great. I like Hulu because there's a lot of shows on there. It's fairly a cheap subscription, but we got the bundle with Disney and ESPN, so we got the ESPN.
Oh, you have do you have the Hulu Live?
The what?
Hulu Live TV?
No, I don't have the live. The live's extra. I thought about getting it and get rid of. I have YouTube TV, so I might get rid of YouTube TV and go to Hulu Live. But I'll wait on that. I'm not in a hurry to do that. But I hate that there's so many subscriptions. Like I'm looking into getting the Apple one, because I want to see a couple of their shows. So I might do that. But I like doing it like I don't like not paying it monthly. I like to do the whole year.
The one that bothers me the most is the subscriptions that they're cheaper, but they riddle them with ads. I'm like, I think the streaming should be free because you're already riddling it with ads. And it's like, geez, how much money do you need to pull out of people? So it's frustrating.
I think Netflix has like 4 different packages, and like the cheapest one has ads, but like I was watching something on YouTube, and like I swear, like every 5 minutes there was ads. I was watching something on Paramount the other day, not Paramount, one of the other stations that has ads, and I felt for this 30-minute show was an hour long because they added an extra half hour of commercials. And I was like, this is crazy. Yeah, it's like I want to say it's 40 minutes. Like the show's 30 minutes normally. So you account for 7 to 10 minutes of ads. And it ended 40 minutes later. But then when I timed it, the second episode, I was like, I'm going to time this, see how much it was. It was 50-50. It was like 21 minutes of the show, 19 and change for ads. Like it just gets crazy. And then when you see on the bottom, it says commercial 5 out of 5. You're like, ugh. It's like, dude, I don't, and it's like the same ads. It's just like, dude, I don't need any of this stuff. Like you're right, it should be free because of that.
It just feels like there's just so many companies just trying to reach into your wallet. I don't know if it's just me, but it just feels like saving your money is really hard because you just have to fend off people trying to get into your wallet.
And scammers too. There's so many, when it's times like this, there's so many scams out there.
Right.
People calling, like right now I have like, we're trying to reach you about your money or something about like.
Is it a scam phone call?
It's a total scam call. But they keep calling me saying about you can get up to $29,000 depending on how many people you kept during the pandemic, how many employees you kept. And I'm like, I didn't have a company that I had employees, Right now I only have, this, and I consider me and you employees, so there's 2, but I'm not going to get $29,000 for that.
It's ridiculous.
Unless they want to give it to me, but
it's just saving money is hard, but it's just easy to just spend money. I think you just get a little dopamine hit every time you spend money. You get your little reward.
That is true. You do get dopamine. Like the thrill of buying new stuff. Like even at this age, like going down to like the outlets over here and getting like going to the Under Armour store or the Nike store and be like, oh look, I got a deal on these shorts, and they scam you. They put 50% off. Normally $50 shorts, they're on sale for $25. And you're like, cool, I'm getting a deal. Let me buy 2. And then you get home, you're like, it kind of wears away when you get home. And then you're like, You look on Amazon, it's the same exact price. It's like, I got duped. But that's how they do it.
So I was talking to this one young girl back at my last job in Hawaii. She's working on a fellowship program, so she was like an employee but didn't get paid as much as everyone. Gets like a college credit or something like that. I don't remember how fellowships work, but she was explaining to me why she likes getting Starbucks every day. Paying $6 a day for a Starbucks. She says it's like a little gift. I'm like, it's just a false dopamine hit. You could get the same quality of coffee for like cents each day if you make it yourself.
Yeah, it cost me 28 cents for Starbucks at my house.
I told her, okay, $6 doesn't sound a lot. Let's times that by 7. That's $42 in 1 week. Times that by 4, and that's in a month. You're paying $168 a month. That's a bill. That's probably more than your cell phone bill. It's probably more than a lot of your other small bills of subscriptions and whatnot, just for coffee alone. And I try to educate it, think bigger picture on things. Maybe it's easier if you look at it at a yearly basis. So let's do that times 12. So you're paying $2,016 a year.
Yeah, that's
just for a cup of coffee. So if I put $2,000 in front of you cash, like this is the money you're going to spend in 1 year on silly, expensive, sugar-riddled coffee, when you could spend a fraction of that at home.
Don't you think there's a stigma of walking into the office with a Starbucks cup, though?
I think it's the stupidest stigma, then. I'm like, for me, it's like, that's a waste of money.
I see that all the time. I see there's plenty of people in my office that come in with Starbucks every morning.
Yeah,
I think it's a stigma. But they're coming in with those fancy, like, whipped cream drinks.
Just more sugar.
Yeah.
Like, we might be in the wrong business.
Yeah.
I think we need to start selling our own coffee, where it costs us like 30 cents a cup to make, but we could sell it for like, $1 less than Starbucks, $5.
Yeah, sell it to you for $5.
Yeah.
Here you go. It's a fancy cup.
Yeah, we'll make a fancy cup.
Fancy design.
Fancy little design. We'll put as much sugar. We'll put more sugar in the Starbucks. How about that?
Yeah.
Get you addicted to our drinks. We'll put it right next to the office you work at, so you pick it up every day. Yeah, we're in the wrong business.
Yeah.
we need to
Well, they have that like in New York and some downtown places. They have the coffee carts, the coffee trucks that sell expensive coffee and stuff. Like they have one in Phoenix that we got in our office. We ordered one to come, and they'll come to your office, and it's not cheap coffee.
To add to that, I mean, if your routine is to go walks to your local coffee shop, wait in line, so you're wasting time to pay for overpriced coffee and drive to work. Is that your routine? You really can't make that coffee at home? Because I have a coffee maker that's on a timer that goes off like 15 minutes before I wake up, and my coffee's ready, and I just add cream and I'm good to go. A huge Costco size of coffee for $18.
Yeah.
That's gonna last me more than a month. So I save a lot of money on that.
Yeah, I mean, I buy my go-to is a Starbucks espresso. I buy a bag of that when it goes on sale, $6.99 or $7.99. It's already ground. I mark how many servings I have in that bag. The last bag I just finished, I had like 31 servings. So put $7.99 divided by 31 servings. Check that out.
39 servings?
31.
31?
26 cents a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a small cup. It's like 10 ounces. Then I add my own creamer.
Mm-hmm.
Drink it at work, and boom.
26 cents for a cup of coffee versus the $6 you're spending.
But let's be honest. Like a lot of companies like have free coffee anyways.
I know, like your office has free coffee and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't get that too.
Our office has coffee. A bunch of different flavors,
I think what I'm getting at is like buying coffee like at a Starbucks or whatnot. It is probably one of the most financial irresponsible things you can do, especially if you're doing it on a daily basis. I'm willing to change my mind when they sponsor us, but right now it's just not a good move financially. And this is a lesson for like my people, millennials, and the where we at, Gen Z, younger than millennials.
I think so. I don't know. I don't
Don't
even follow
buy
that.
coffee. You make it yourself at home, please.
Or get it at the office.
Or get it free at the office if it's there. I mean,
Yeah.
you're a zombie because you're waking up, but if it's free at the office,
Yeah.
get it there.
Most companies have free coffee. A lot of companies I've worked for have free coffee. I'm trying to think right now.
It's supposed to be like a morale thing for businesses, for their employees.
Well,
Like,
if
I
you're in
get it.
sales, you're gonna get free coffee. I don't think. I think I don't know. Some call centers might not do it if it's customer service based
Hmm.
because they're like. But even then, I think they have free coffee. To be honest.
Maybe. Like, if you work at a mall or something, no, there's
No,
not
no,
going to be
I'm
free
talking like
coffee.
an office
But
job. If you have an
a
office
lot of
job,
office jobs
they have
do.
coffee.
Hmm.
It's not that expensive for them to give you to wake you up and to be on the phone. Sales, like we have coffees, we have, they come down our down the call center with energy drinks in the afternoons.
Hmm.
They get on the phones, get some sales.
All right,
It
let's just
works.
appeal to people who don't have that luxury. So let's just say like people who work like say at the mall or something. People who don't make a lot of money, right? It's that's a huge financial thing that you should not be spending your money on. Is
But they do.
buying, yeah, if you work at like say a Foot Locker or something at the mall, you should not be getting expensive coffee.
But that's even worse because you're at the mall and you're like, "Hey, I'm gonna on break." You're like, "Hey, I'm gonna walk down and get a Starbucks."
I know I remember that working at a mall. Like you're on break, you're on your 30-minute lunch break. You want to get a quick snack, go to the concession over there because you can't really pack your own lunch, really.
Well, you go to the food court and you get like Auntie M's pretzel bites and a smoothie or something, and $10 later, you're like, damn.
Yeah, you just wasted an hour and a half
Nice.
of labor for that meal.
Yeah.
When it
But you
could-
do it because it's like, like you said, it gives you that little reward gift, whatever,
Dopamine hit, but
the
it's,
dopamine hit of spending your money.
if you could just make your own sandwiches, bring it to work in a lunchbox, and some companies don't have a refrigerator. I remember that because I used to go to work
Oh, that sucks.
at a job where they didn't have that. So I'd get a lunchbox that's very insulated. So I'd just get like bags of ice from my freezer and then just put it in the lunchbox to keep my food cool. It was one money saving method I did. So I'd have like my sandwiches or whatnot. Just
Yeah, that sucks. They didn't have a fridge. Maybe
there's
a mini
some,
fridge.
they're out there.
Cheap. They're cheap. They don't care about their employees.
No.
Another way to lose money, though, on hits is I used to get addicted on eBay. Like, place your bid. And you're like, oh, I can get this cheap. You place a bid. You think you're going to, okay, ends in 5 days. I'll get this really cheap. And then you get an alert on your phone. Bet higher because you just got outbid. You're like, damn it. And you start putting bits. And the thing that always got me was you won. But did you really win? Because you like paid more than what you wanted to pay for something.
Right. That's an auction
like-
fee, right?
I used to do that with sports cards, like baseball cards. Like, oh, I can get this Mike Trout rookie for cheap. Put a bid on. 2 minutes later, I got outbid, and I'm bidding more. And then I'm bidding more than the card's worth, just because I don't want to lose. The mentality of I don't want to lose to this dude, so I'll bid higher. He's not going to go higher. And then sometimes I was like, oh, please, someone outbid me. Someone outbid me because I don't want to pay this much for that. And all of a sudden it says, you won.
I wonder if it was a seller with another account.
It probably was.
Who's running it up?
100% it happens. It's probably the owner, too.
It was just like that one movie with Adam Sandler where like, he was telling his friend to buy this expensive, I think it was like a gemstone. I don't remember what the movie was. And his friend did it thinking that some other dude will actually place a higher bid, but he just ends up backing out.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie, but I heard it's really good on Netflix.
It's an Adam Sandler movie. It's about a guy with a gambling addiction. It's
Yes.
really good.
Yes.
It's actually really
Kevin
good.
Garnett's in it.
Yes.
I got to see that. I heard it's really good. Something Stone.
I have to look it up for the sake of this podcast.
Yeah, I have to look it up. But I heard the same thing, and I wonder if it's still on Netflix because the Gemstones or something. I think no, Gemstones is a HBO show. That's pretty good as well.
Uncut Gems. That's what it was.
See, it did have gems in it. So Uncut Gems. Yeah, that's
So, I mean, where was I with this topic? Oh, yes, there's another website where I'm sure you've seen ads on it on TV where people have gotten like a PlayStation for $5 or
a
something
lie.
like that. You know how that business works? They charge you per bid. So everything you want to put a bid, it's like 25 cents. So when you have a bunch of people making small bids, like I bid $1, this guy bid $1.01, this guy bid $1.02. The company's getting like 30 cents per each bid. Yeah, sure, they might sell the product to someone for cheap, but if you're the buyer, you're paying 30 cents per bid. Before you know, you probably spent a lot of money to get whatever the product is.
Yeah.
And if you didn't win, you just wasted all that money.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So it's interesting way how people spend their money.
Well, it's not just that. Someone else was telling me there's a lot of ladies in my office. We went to a group outing at Top Golf, and on the table on one of the bays, there was 4 purses. They were all Louis Vuitton. 4 Louis Vuittons and 1 Marc Jacob.
I don't know who Marc Jacob is.
I don't know. Marc Jacob's not as expensive, but the Louis were exactly the same. Like,
that's a status thing, right?
total status thing. Like, look, they looked identical. The pattern, except maybe the bags were a tiny bit different. But besides that, the bags all had the brown and black, checkered, whatever. But total status.
So all those ladies who have that purse, if I were to ask any of them, like, what do you do for a living?
Yeah.
One of them says, I'm a sales associate at Macy's. Financial irresponsibility. And we met those people too, right?
Yeah.
Like, where we had just working labor jobs and they have like stupid expensive stuff.
Yeah.
Like, why would you spend your money on expensive designer brand clothes when you should be like saving it and investing it?
Because they don't know
lift
any
yourself
better. It
up.
makes them think that, hey, people, it's the whole fake it till you make it persona. You want to look rich. But then when you meet a real rich person, you're like, they're wearing like Costco clothes.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I'm no better. I've done it before in my young 20s where I bought expensive clothes,
yeah.
expensive stuff. I bought an expensive car when I should not have, too. And that's where I really learned financial responsibility. And it's like now I continue to save money in the bank and I still shop at Ross, TJ Maxx, the secondhand stores. Like, I don't care.
I don't go-
Clothes from Costco.
I don't go that crazy, but yeah. I at this age now, honestly, like, I have Banana Republic shorts. I wear a lot of designer stuff, but you'd be shocked that, like, Costco has, when they had Banana Republic shorts, I bought every color.
Oh, really?
Oh, dude, $15 for a pair of shorts? Sign me up.
Yeah. There's shorts you get for $50 at the mall. I'm like, no.
They had pants on sale for like $14.99. I bought 3 different pairs of jeans because they were designer jeans, and then another branded designer jeans that came out, and I was like, I'll buy 3 pairs of these because they're all different colors, and it's crazy. They're all designer, and people are like, why you waste your money on your clothes? I'm like, dude, if you knew how cheap I got my clothes, you'd laugh. Like, it's cheap. I don't buy my clothes. I don't buy anything expensive unless it's on sale.
Great.
Because I don't need, a lot of my shirts still fit 10 years later. All my designer Ralph Lauren stuff that I bought when I was an idiot, all still fit. I have a ton of polos, still look great. And I bought a lot of stuff like cheap. I had friends that worked at, these stores and stuff that were able to get me stuff cheap. So,
I mean, I guess when you're 20, you kind of just want to look impressive.
trying to impress people to get, to move. But then again, I worked at Countrywide when I was younger, and we were making a ton of money in sales. So you had money to burn. I should have invested all that money.
Oh, we all should have.
When you're young and dumb, you're like, oh, I'll get this and go on trips and buy Jeep Wranglers and Sierra trucks, brand new trucks, and here's
try to look
cash.
impressive. Maybe this chick who I keep eyeing might notice me, and
yeah, look what I drive, this and that. And I bought a BMW, convertible BMW hardtop. I thought I was the coolest guy in the world. I was like, this is the dumbest thing.
who am I trying to impress with that?
Ooh. And I'm whoever it is, it's gonna be the wrong person because then I have to live this fake life.
I will tell you this: when I had my Mustang, I tried to impress all the wrong people, especially women I'm trying to date. If you're trying to impress women with like materialistic things, and if they judge you and that's they want to be with you because you have the materialistic things, that's not good.
That's how I felt with my truck. I remember I brought my truck with 7 miles on it from the dealership, and they'd be like, "Oh, is that your truck?" "Yep, that's my truck." "Oh yeah, I'll go out with you." But it's stupid. Now you think about it, you're like, damn, I was so dumb.
I mean, yeah, it's young and dumb days, and it's like, how do you teach that to young kids when they're,
You
especially
don't.
guys, they're
You
just
don't.
trying to get laid, and They think, oh, if I'm impressive, I have these. If I wear these type of clothes, if I get the, that Corvette with the 27% interest, I'll
Yep.
get noticed.
Oh, like a lot of my buddies when I was younger, hanging out in Scottsdale and stuff, had BMWs, this and that, but living in apartments.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have houses. They were living that life. So
Yeah.
good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Good for them.
So, I mean, moral of the story is save your money.
Yeah, invest.
Save money, invest.
Yeah.
You actually, right now, with interest rates with savings accounts at over 4%, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
All you have to do is save money. You're kind of good. Cash is kind of king right now.
Well, stay on the sideline, see if there's going to be a crash, and if there is, buy up.
Well, technically, inflation is supposed to be what, 4%? So if you have a savings account that has like 4.3, 4.4, 4.5% APY, you're kind of above inflation.
Yep.
So cash is king. Save that money.
Yep.
It's a good move.
What else we
It's the
got on the
safest
docket?
bet. Next on the agenda, we had a conversation about Reuters.
I love this. This just came out.
I'll pull it up right now. Talk about this because you mentioned this. Too.
So Reuters came out with a list of basically politicians that owned slaves. Not them directly, but their family lineage through great grandfathers or whatever it was. Right now, there's 5 living presidents who have owned slaves. 5. Okay, Danny, there's 5. Can you guess? And this is just 5 that are living because there's only 6 living presidents right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you guess the living president right now and the only president in the history of the United States not to own a slave?
Looking at this short list, it says 5 living presidents, and there's 6, so it'd be Donald Trump.
Supposedly the most racist president is the only one that didn't own slaves.
Maybe there's something to it, right?
Well,
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Bad joke.
like, say what you want about Trump, but his hands are clean. His family's hands are clean, right?
In that aspect.
And they're going to say, oh, you can't judge him by this and that. Okay, then you want reparations. These are the people you need to get reparations from. Let's
Yeah,
see.
I just pulled up another source that shows from Daily News saying Trump is the only living president whose family didn't own slaves from one report.
Look at that picture of the 4 that do. Wow.
Just to fact check this story by the Reuters, so I'm going back to Reuters. So scrolling down more, 2 Supreme Court justices right now, whose lineage has once owned slaves.
Who are these guys? Okay.
Current
11
11
governors.
governors.
Look at that. Is that Elizabeth Warren on there? Oh, it is.
Where do you see her? I don't see her.
She's on the top of this row.
Oh, I see her right
You
here.
see her, right?
Even Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas.
Wow.
Remember her story about writing in
Yep.
that she's Native American?
Wow. You own slaves. I don't see Pelosi on here.
Maybe she didn't.
Maybe she's not legislator anymore.
No, she is.
Hmm.
She is. She's not the minority leader anymore. I believe she stepped down.
Yeah, look at that.
Lindsey Graham's on here.
Lindsey Graham. Just looking at him, you can tell. You can tell.
You'd
Just looking
probably
at
be proud of it.
He's so like, come on, Lindsey.
But yeah, I mean, can you really
Well, it's just interesting.
use that against them? I mean,
you can't hold it against them, but do you wonder like how them growing up as back in the day? Because think about it, they're not young, so they were around when all that crazy Rodney King stuff was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Not Rodney King, Martin Luther King. Yeah,
I mean, that was
Malcolm X and stuff. So
that was 60 years
they were
ago. Some of them were kids back then.
not even kids; they're probably teenagers.
Maybe
They're
teenagers.
old. Do you wonder if they hate? Because let's be honest, you've seen all the old videos of Biden saying that he didn't want his kids to be around black kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's fact. Does
he still believe that now? Okay,
I mean, you could change your
maybe he's
mind.
changed.
Maybe he's changed his mind, or did he change his mind because of politics?
Sometimes it's your surroundings. Well, it could be politics.
Because-
Sometimes it's your surroundings that you evolved.
He was also against gay marriage,
Mm-hmm.
big time against. So was the Clintons. So was Obama. But politics said, "Hey, you gotta accept it." Okay, you just don't change your mind. You just
You probably have to go with the flow to get the votes.
Exactly.
That's one thing I notice with Democrats. They don't pump the brakes on things.
No.
When things start getting too wonky, it's like, hold on, let's pump the brakes on some of these ideologies and think it through. Let's beat up the ideas a little bit more. Maybe we can get a better outcome instead of just like unfiltered progressive policies.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
there are necessary progressive policies, but they need to be filtered a little bit. There needs to be some debate.
Yeah.
We need to iron them out a little bit.
Well, this whole thing it's crazy to me that the Democrats are the way they are now. But it's not. It's far left, and there's some regular Democrats. So I think there's in-house fighting, just like there's in-house fighting for Republicans. But the Democrats sometimes are just have the crazy, like AOC's out there sometimes, man. The things she says, like the latest with diversity or something that the Supreme Court just ruled.
Oh my gosh, we were just talking about this too.
Yeah, we were just talking
affirmative
about
action.
Affirmative action. So what does that mean? I don't know. I don't know. I think what they're trying to say is basically they're going to start changing things, and especially in higher education, right? Like to get into Harvard, they're not going to do it based off of how many of this and that they have, right? How many?
Basically, the quota of this school is required to have like a certain amount of minorities in it, regardless of their qualifications. I mean, they still have to meet a certain qualification, but there's also you have to
They
meet a
have
certain
to have the grades now.
I mean, it's not. We're not just talking about this is something that white people need to be in check for. Remember, there was too many Asians going into like elite schools like Harvard because they were just kicking ass with their SAT scores, and then they
Yep.
pumped the brakes. Like, okay, we have too many. We need to make it harder for them to get in.
Exactly. I mean, I saw an article. It's not on here, and I did see something. I went down a rabbit hole on, I think it was shorts on Facebook or something, and how Asians are delighted that this has changed because they're gonna get more of them into Harvard, Princeton, and all those schools because they're smart. They're smart.
I mean, just looking up affirmative action, it's intended to promote the opportunities of defined minority groups within a society to give them equal access to that of the majority population. Now, it makes me question, why did affirmative action come before? Like, why did it exist to begin with? And how necessary is it today? Have we progressed from what it was when it was needed?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Is it
So,
progressive where we don't
'cause-
need it now?
What was the point of it coming out? Yes, there was racist companies that just did not want to have minorities in their business, and that's a bad reflection. Like, hey, just like every other American should have opportunities, but you're only selecting a handful of cherry-picked Americans who could only have access to certain opportunities, but the rest cannot, and most of them are minorities or of lower income classes, white people too. And there's always a hyper minority of the minorities who have access because of like maybe they have a background, wealth, or come from some type of background that has good connections. Maybe that they have a network overseas of oil or whatnot.
I don't know. I don't know what the right thing is on affirmative action. I mean, there's certain things that you shouldn't have affirmative action. Okay, like flying. Like, do you want your pilot to? You want the best pilots in there, right? You don't want. Oh, we have to have certain Indian, certain Hispanic, certain other races. You want the best pilots. You can have affirmative action where you can have a diverse training group, but you're only going to take the best out of that.
I mean, there's areas that you have to have the best, and where it's impossible to be a racist, right? Like a competition, like sports, right? No basketball team owner would be like, I only want white people on my team.
Boston Celtics.
Well, what if they did? They're probably not going to make it to the playoffs. They'll probably be the
No,
worst
they won't
teams
make
because there's.
Can you imagine
most
affirmative
of-
action in NBA?
Well,
Half
I
your
know,
team has
right?
to be white.
Well, the thing is, like, the majority of the best athletes are black,
Period.
especially in the NFL and the NBA. So if you're okay, there's no affirmative action. You can put it. certain skin color people you want, and someone's like, I want my basketball team to be only white people. Like,
Yeah.
good luck getting to any playoffs at all. In that area, it's like, obviously you can't have a certain affirmative action at all. But there's some businesses that don't require a certain level of competition. You just need the employees, and that's it.
Yep.
And that's where they get cherry picked of like, I only want a whole white staff. I don't want any blacks or Asians or
But this can
Hispanics.
open that up again. Like business can be like, oh, there's no affirmative action now.
You could open that because you know that when you're at an interview table for just a working class job, they're probably going to judge you on your skin color. No, I'm not saying everyone does, but it happens.
No,
Or
it
gender
does,
as well.
yeah.
If you're female as well, this does happen
Yeah,
to them.
yeah, it could happen like, oh, we don't want to bring this person here because she won't be a good old boy.
We like to talk shit in the office,
We
and then
like to-
she'll
yep.
hear something,
And
get
she'll go to
offended,
HR.
and then go HR.
No, there's companies like that don't hire certain. They hire someone they feel that they would work out. Affirmative action, those groups don't work out because you get someone based off our quota. You have to have X amount of females, X amount of minorities, and you say a joke out of content. That person goes to HR. So
So what is it now that now that we're here in 2023, they're getting rid of affirmative action before our eyes? Is it now that we're at a point where we're more progressive enough to be not worried about forced government affirmative action?
I don't know. I don't know enough about how this is going to affect us. We're going to have to wait and see. But I know all these people are up and
There could be a company an independent nonprofit company that's going to have be its own affirmative action where they rate companies of like, here's your affirmative action score. You hire so many minorities, you're very diverse, you get 100. This company is very whitewashed, so you get a score of 20. Like, it could happen.
That's the ESG score, ain't it?
Yeah, it's like an ESG
ESG
score,
score, yeah.
right? So does it work? Is it good? Do you need to appeal to them?
Yeah.
Because I get it, you want the best people, and it is very possible that maybe the best people most of them are of one skin color, like say Asian. Like you want the smartest, best, and brightest, and then you're just flooded with Asians. But at the same time, maybe you only want these positions filled for only your friends.
Yeah, and
You're
that
hooking it
happens.
up.
Friends you want people that you can trust around you, so you can do what you do in your office, and that's like cussing, saying bad jokes, blah blah, this and that.
It's a squirrely subject because I don't have the answer for it, and I'm not one who wants so much government intervention. I'm very limited of what I want the government to be involved in. Affirmative action, like I kind of want it because I feel like there's going to be people who couldn't get their opportunities that they got now if it wasn't for it. But now with that being removed, can that still exist, or are there going to be people who are going to be prevented opportunities because there's no more affirmative action?
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, I guess we'll see. In like 10 years from now, we'll see how.
It could be both and based off of merit. Because if you're a certain, say you want to, like, let's go back to being a pilot, and you have someone saying, hey, I'm not a pilot because this is a whole, let's just say for argument's sake, it's all white old people, and you're like, okay, let's investigate and see why. Pilots have scores, right? So, your score is 70, and all these guys that you're saying all have 89 to 95 scores. These companies only want those people. So you're going to have to do your work and work at smaller companies and get your score up and interview and get into those jobs. I don't know. I don't have the answers again. Like, I know me, I want the best pilots.
Yeah, you want the best talent.
Yeah, I don't want to go in there and see.
But how can you prove that you're colorblind, that you only want the best pilots?
Your pilot score.
Yeah, right. It's like
That
it
proves
can
everything.
justify it, right?
It'll justify it. But
Because it could be like everyone who has a high pilot score are of one race, except for the one person who is not of that race, and they have the lowest score. Maybe there's a reason why he has the lowest score, because the opportunities are not there for him to learn how to be as good as a pilot as the majority that has it. That's a possibility.
it's a possibility, but mostly if he's at 75, everyone is 89 and above, and he has this, same flight time, has been working at other places. maybe he screwed up a couple of times, this and that, and he needs more. He needs to work it out more, and he just sees these jobs that are high paying jobs, and I want that. And finds, let's be honest, probably says, oh, they're discriminating. Well, then you do an investigation, find out, well, they're not really discriminating. It's your score sucks. It's below par, and for our company, the way it is, if there's any accidents and stuff, we don't want people suing us.
Because you and I have both heard of stories of people talking about that they interviewed for a job. They were told they were the best candidate, but they couldn't fulfill the job because they had to meet a quota to put in another minority in who was the second best.
Yes, we've all had that, and we've all had that directly affect us, like trying to get promoted. That someone not as good got promoted because of diversity. And it sucks, but there's nothing you can do about it. I still think companies will still try to be, even though they ruled that, they'll still have diversity. Because you don't want to be a company you're looking through leadership and they're all old white guys.
I hope that the affirmative action was the training wheels to progress the country to be more diverse. And now we could take off the training wheels. I hope that's what it is. It's a big ask, I know, because the less government, the better, I believe.
Yeah, but again, it's a slippery slope. But
very slippery slope. I agree with you there.
Because you want diversity, and you want to get people who might not be as smart because they haven't had the chance, because they live in the inner city, and let's be honest, inner cities don't get a lot of funding, and they don't have a chance to excel. But if you give them, like you said, put them in those higher education schools, or even school period higher education, and they've thrived because they wouldn't have gotten that chance to do so if it wasn't for affirmative action. So we'll see if this is how bad this is going to be, and we'll see in the next year or two, and we'll go from there.
Hopefully people in the comment section will tell us what they feel about this.
Yeah, I'm not an expert on this at all.
Neither am I, but it makes for an interesting conversation, and honestly, out of this, I just hope for the best, really. Let's see, we've already chunked in like 50 minutes already, so do you want to talk about this, or
talk about what's really going on in the world that we see that's like, what is this? And that is France.
I'll pull up
an
article.
I told you about this. Like, that's all I'm seeing on my Twitter feed. Like, France is burning.
I mean, why is France burning?
Tell us.
So I guess I could play this raw footage of.
Yeah, let's play the raw footage.
What happened here? So for those of you listening, there was a police stop. There's a 17-year-old minority in here. I believe his name is Nahil. Is it? Yeah, Nahil. And there's two cops that pulled over. We don't know the contents of like how he got pulled over, but apparently it's a routine traffic stop. And the cop, apparently there's one cop that has a gun pointed at this kid. Now, what did you see here? Did you see the cop shoot the kid first and the car moved, or the car moved and the cop shot?
So right here, look at the cop right there. It looks like he's hitting him. Not the guy with the gun, but the guy right there. Look, he's hitting him with something.
Oh, the other cop without the gun.
Cop. Yep, without the gun. It looks like he's hitting him. Look at that. Strike. And it's a 17-year-old kid. He's scared. Remember when you were 17? Well, like, what are you doing?
It's no, I mean you're absolutely right, because at 17, and if I had a gun pointed at me, I'm scared for my life. Like, at that point, yes, I understand you need to obey authority figures, but all it takes is that one squeeze of the trigger and done. Even if you were doing all of the good things.
Well, not just that, he got hit in the face, supposedly.
So he's already getting attacked. Now you can argue that, okay, the kid drove off. When you're driving, that car is basically a weapon at that point, because you could run over the police officer.
Right. You could, but he wasn't going to hit the cop.
I mean, let me pull up a scenario. Say you're like 17 and you're just minding your own business, and a cop like mis-ID'd you, thought you were a suspect he's looking for, and he pulls his gun out.
Or just
Does your
pulls you
first-
over because you're a different skin tone.
Yeah, he pulls you over, and if the cop fired the gun once, are you gonna continue to stay there and just let the cop arrest you? Because
I'm out like Gran
No,
Turismo.
I'd be running too for my life because the cop already made the decision that he's trying
He's
to
gonna kill
execute me.
Yeah, he's trying to.
So
He's trying
I'm going to bail myself. I need to save my life.
So this kid too, he's getting supposedly got hit 3 times,
So there was there was a passenger there too, so he wasn't by himself.
and the passenger told his own story.
Now it's his word that the cop was attacking him, and he's saying, and another one saying, "I will shoot you."
Well, I don't think it's just his word that he attacked him. You could see the cop like struck him.
Yeah, you see a movement in there
Yeah.
that maybe the first officer talking to him is attacking him. He is like physically causing harm. That's hard for me to tell because I don't know. I can't tell with that exchange.
Well, look how quick his right arm. See what's
right
what's
arm?
that? Unless
Okay.
he's reaching for a gun to shoot him. When
then
does
he
he
takes
shoot
off,
him?
'cause,
Yeah.
you
When
know-
do they shoot him?
Well, he shot him right there. It was the other cop with the
Oh, he
bigger gun.
did shoot him right there.
He shot him, and the kid took off, and then he died momentarily. And that's how he got. That's how that crash happened.
And then the other kid got out of the car and ran off.
No, he didn't run off. Let me pull up the video again. Because the car crashed eventually. Fast forward. It's here, and then the police arrive, and he steps out of the vehicle, the passenger. Will this video show it? If not, there's another one that showed it.
Yeah, they'll show it right here.
You're right there, door open.
But the cop goes to the driver's side. He's gone.
And he's like, oh, well, he's dead. Okay, now I have to start calling other people. So now all over the internet, there is just riots. I'm trying to think of this objectively. Like, what is this a bad call? Well, apparently the police officer has been charged, too.
Oh, he has?
Homicide, yeah.
But that's not enough justice. The kid's already dead.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're a police officer and you're pulling a gun at someone, you have to feel at least somewhat threatened. You're ready to squeeze the trigger. Has the kid demonstrated anything that shows that he might be deadly?
Or he's just showing his power.
Could be,
Let's be
yeah.
honest.
Yeah, totally true. It could be that. It could be that. I don't know 100% sure if that's what it was. I mean, maybe the cops were being jerks. And maybe the cops are, overextending their authority, scaring the kid. He's 17, he's young, doesn't know any better. All he knows is that there's one cop.
Maybe just harassing the
One
kid.
cop is beating him up. The other one has a gun pointed at him.
And supposedly that the other cop's like, shoot him. And that's when he took off.
He's like, shoot him. He's like, you know what? I
out.
need to save my life.
I'm out.
I need to drive away. I'm out. These cops are trying to kill me. They made the decision to execute
So it
me.
probably
I'm not
crashed.
just going to sit there and let them kill me.
It probably crashed because he got shot.
Well, he got shot and he's trying to drive, but then, he eventually dies and then the car
Yeah.
crashes. And it's crazy. So it's just like, man.
Well, it's crazy what's happening in France. I mean, the president's they're going to get rid of all the social media feeds and stuff. Like, is there stuff on Twitter we could pull up so people can see?
There's people making their videos. I mean, you just look for France on fire.
Look at that. Oof.
Oh my goodness.
Show that.
Is
Oh,
it
wow.
playing? Yeah, there's like a building on fire.
That is crazy. We don't have any of
Okay,
that.
why do you have to put a building on fire? What is that going to prove?
It's
What is that going to
inconvenient for all.
prove? You just
you just-
ruin hundreds of homes for people.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's what.
Probably
that's
people who
why.
support your cause, but you just destroyed their home.
They don't care.
So-
Look how much of a statement that is. Look at this right here. This car, boom, exploded.
Ooh, car bomb, huh?
That's a car bomb. Good old fashioned car bomb in Paris. What is this?
Fireworks show, I guess.
Fiery but mostly peaceful protest after shooting. That's Wisconsin. Oh, geez, Louise.
Fires going on.
That's a lion. Oh, wow. Look at that. France has fallen.
There was another. Yeah. There's
This is
people
something the
getting beat
government
up.
doesn't want you to see. Look at how crazy that place is right now. Holy cow.
So there was one. With
Oh
like a-
my gosh. Go down. Go down one more. Or I mean, go up the cartoon that one up there. France on fire. That
Oh, that's pretty rough, huh?
yeah. Wow.
Well, there was one. Okay, this one. It's like
Okay,
okay,
look how organized they are.
okay. For those of you listening, this video on Twitter shows the far right group in the place de Turas is now moving towards the city center and hunt down
Hunt
Muslim
down. Oh,
rioters.
okay, they're hunting down Muslim
So
protest
I mean, it's
riders.
just a bunch of
Okay, they're
men.
protecting. Yeah, it's a bunch of men protecting their city.
I mean, they're playing vigilante here.
You
So
have to. You almost have to. Don't you
yeah,
think?
but these, I mean,
The cops are getting killed
are they?
according to this.
I mean, this is a mob and another mob. There's two mobs now,
Yeah,
right?
there's two mobs.
Now this
It's
mob
chaos.
here,
Stay off the streets.
who are trying to play vigilante, I mean, they're they're probably hoping that they can get away with doing a lot of excessive harm. They're not there for justice.
They're revenge.
Hmm.
Revenge.
I mean, this is a situation that's happening a lot in Europe. It's like a culture clash. There is a significant amount of
Migrants.
migrants, minorities there,
Yep.
and people feel like the French culture or European culture is being overwhelmed with other cultures.
It's too soft.
Mhm.
It's well, no. Let's be honest. It's being overtaken by wokeism. It's too woke.
I don't know what wokeism is. Actually,
Well, it's too
to be
like
honest.
okay, like Muslims they don't like anything woke. They don't like this whole uh.
So is it Muslims the primary migrants that they're concerned about?
Mhm.
So is it just like, okay, we can have a handful of Muslims, we get to know them, they're part of our community, it's
They're
nice.
super
But
religious.
now there's so many of them that do they feel like the French culture and the governance is going to be taken over by Muslim influence?
Could be.
Mm-hmm.
That's also in the UK. That's a lot of Europe and Italy is starting to be a problem. Greece is starting to get there, but they're heavily against all this stuff. Batman has arrived in France. Did you see that video of all the Batman in those trucks?
I'm scrolling through it, looking for it. So
Oh,
yeah,
it's so they can identify themselves, and they were all these dudes came out of this like U-Haul looking truck, looking like Batman. They were all wearing Batman things on there. It's crazy.
I mean, as I'm still scrolling through here, yeah, all the riots. And
Yeah, look
everything.
at that. That's
But
bad.
I want to get on the topic of like the culture clash that's going on in Europe, and it feels like
Migrants
one
taking
culture
over. That's
they
part-
feel like they're being taken over, others feel like they're being suppressed, and you have this culture clash going on. And I mean, we have it here in the U.S. too with culture clashes, and how do we remain
Muslims.
peaceful?
Muslims are supposed to be, rule of the land. Whatever the law of the land is, they're supposed to. Oh, there it is. There's the Batmans. Pull up Batmans. Look at these guys. All these guys. You gotta watch it one more time in a second. Rewind
Okay, I'll
it.
play it back. So, yeah, look,
Look at that.
it's like a U-Haul.
It's a U-Haul full
That's
of
a
Batmans.
lot of
Look at
guys
that
dressed up
dude's
in Batman.
hardcore Batman. You see him? He's like a light gray Batman. That one too. Look at that.
Oh, in blue Batman. What the?
That's so crazy. There's guys wearing caves.
No, what are they doing? Now, okay, hold on. Is this part of the riot, or is this just something completely different?
That's so different. It's part of the riot, though.
You think it's part of the riot, or
Yeah, it
is it
says
just
France
a
on
random video?
fire. And
Well,
someone's telling
because it's hashtag France on fire doesn't mean this was filmed in France or anything. This could be a made-up video,
yeah, it could be, but
unless someone can verify
it's
that.
hilarious. That's a car bomb again.
I'm seeing the same thing again. So it's
what's this one in French video? What's that?
I can't translate it. I was looking for it, but
The French government is going to take a lot of this stuff
okay.
down.
Someone has it like
We are not afraid. We were born Muslims. Praise be to Allah. Well, they are taking over, and they don't screw around when it comes to their religion.
I mean,
The Muslims are like the only. I don't know. I can't speak for the Jews, but their Muslims are like hardcore. They don't go against what their book says. Like Christians, they'll be like, "Yes, oh, okay, well,
are they really Christian at that point?
we'll let you." Yeah, you're right. Are you really Christian at that point? Where they're like, "Okay, we'll let transgenders, this and that, come in," and Muslims like, "Oh, hell no."
Like, nope.
And I'll tell
not
you
our
now,
books.
hell no. Muslims are like, hell no. I have friends that are Muslims. They're 100% against that. And they don't just like Christians. Like Christians are against it, but they like have gotten to the point where like it's almost acceptable, right? But for Muslims, they'll tell you you're in the wrong, and it's crazy. It's like they're hardcore, dude. You know, like I think I was watching Andrew Tate talk about it because he switched to Muslim because Muslims don't screw around.
No, he's Christian now.
No, he's Muslim.
Hold on.
No, look up Andrew Tate. He is Muslim.
Because he just did an interview with Patrick Bet Davis.
Yeah.
And he talked about being Christian.
He's talked about being Christian and why he's Muslim. I saw the same interview. PBD.
I mean, it's very common for people who go to prison come out Muslim too, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you think
Learn
that is?
Islam.
Why is that?
I don't know. I guess they're just with other prisoners and they get converted.
They get converted. Great salespeople in this penal system.
I really thought he says
He was Christian, but what
No,
he
was
said
an
in that
atheist.
interview is he didn't like the fact that the Christians were going against what their own teachings have been.
in 4 years. Okay.
And for me,
You want to play this?
so curious to get your thoughts on it.
Oh, this is doing.
For the longest time, when I got into business, I was, a younger guy, 21, very coachable. Tell me I'm a coachable guy. What do I got to do? I'm a coachable guy, super coachable. I want to make money. I'm sick of time being broke.
Hold on 1 second. I gotta make sure this can be heard.
Yeah, let's hear it. This is a good one. And by the way, we're big supporters of PBD.
My dad's at the 99 cents. Too many heart attacks. I want to get out of this. Yeah.
I mean, it's a 20-minute long video. I just want to see if he has the straight points.
Talking to rich people at Morgan Stanley being with never talk religion, never talk politics, never talk sex. Just don't talk about those three things. I said, okay, guess what? Never talk politics, never talk religion, never talk sex. No problem. We're going to business. So what do you think about the political climate today, Patrick Bet David? Oh, what do you think? Yeah. Well, I think this is, but what do you think, Patrick? I don't know, quite frankly, I think I'm trying to figure it out for myself right now. But we'll see what's going to happen. Like, whatever way you're deflecting and you're kind of going, hey, what do you think about God? What is your opinion on Islam or Muslim?
Oh, I never had the volume for the desktop. Sorry about that, people.
The people that I know at that level want to talk about those three topics. Now, sex is maybe off camera and they're kind of having fun with it, but they want to talk about politics and religion. So we, for the longest time, have been silenced, and now the ESG community, all this time they've told us to stay quiet, and they're saying what? They're talking politics. They're talking religion.
Bird just hit my window.
Sorry for the random distraction. We just had a
Feathers went
bird
everywhere.
That bird just straight ran into your window. I wish we recorded that because there was feathers. It looked like he almost exploded, but he flew away. That was very fascinating. Let me see if I can find like a short real quick or something. Okay, so it said he went from atheism to Christianity to now Muslim.
PBD, man, like he puts out great stuff.
Well, I heard someone say he's the new Joe Rogan of YouTube now.
I 100%. Well,
Okay, here's a quick short for the amount of time we have.
okay.
I wanted to ask you now, because this is the hot topic, especially in the Muslim community, about your conversion. Yeah. So tell us the story, like what happened exactly.
Well, I think a lot of people who've been following me for a while understand that I've been very respectful of Islam for a long time.
Yeah, sure.
I was born in a Christian country. I was raised as a Christian, and I've always been very respectful of Islam. And it's become more and more obvious to me and more pertinent that Islam is the last religion on the planet.
I wanted to ask you now, because this is the hot topic, especially.
Interesting. Last religion, I would thought Mormons would be.
One on tour saying Islam fixes everything, huh? I guess this is a shorter one that put up.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are in the presence of a cultural icon,
Let's get
physical
started.
specimen. Also got Andrew Tate.
That was smooth. I
Dude, Andrew
very
Tate's
respectful of
big,
Islam
huh?
for a long time. I was born in a Christian country. I was raised as a Christian, and I've always been very respectful of Islam. And it's become more and more obvious to me and more pertinent that Islam is the last religion on the planet. When I talk about Islam, because I'm new to it, I I'm a little bit careful, right? Because I'm new to it. I'm certainly not a scholar. There's so much I need to learn. I know I'm on a learning journey. I'm not here to sit here and talk scripture. I don't know those things yet. I'm here to learn.
Yeah.
But
And we're here at your assistance.
thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. But it's just, for me, it feels like the last religion on earth. I feel like there's no other religion. People say to me, why did you convert? And I said, I don't really feel it as a conversion. It's almost like I knew God was real and now I've become religious. And they say, oh, you were religious before. I was like, religious before how? Christian? What does Christian mean? Like, who's not a Christian? You go to Christian nations and everyone says they're a Christian. Look how they live their lives. Go into the average church. Is anyone actually fearful of God? Anybody? No. The girls are out on Saturday night drinking and they turn up to church because their parents made them. Like, there's no substance to the religion. And also, Islam very closely reflects my personal beliefs. Through my personal life, I've learned that if you don't have standards and you're not a strong person who's prepared to defend his ideas, you will be crushed.
Yes.
And we look at most religions in the world today, which are not prepared to defend their ideas. What's happened to them? They're just getting crushed. And now we have Christianity as an idea, which has basically said, well, we can't set any firm rules because everyone will just quit. So instead, let's make it so easy to be a Christian that nobody has to put any effort in.
Yeah.
And then accept everybody no matter what. And hopefully we can keep the church doors open. That's not God to me, you know?
Exactly.
God to me.
Let
Exactly.
me pause that right there. I mean, okay. Honestly, he has some good points because we don't defend Christianity when it gets challenged anymore.
You can't. Like, Christianity is not protected at all.
And you can't criticize Islam in the United States because it's like they're basically like a protected group, but you can bash on Christianity all you want here.
Big time.
So it's like so reverse here. And, you know, maybe there could be a time when maybe states say, you know what, screw the federal government. We're going to have very strict Christian beliefs and standards in our state now. Could happen. But people think that's like wonky. It's
I think
extremism
the closest would be Utah.
with Mormonism.
Yeah.
They're like silently accepted as that.
Or not even that. There's a lot of Christians in Utah now, which,
I mean, Mormonism is a sect of Christianity.
yeah, and it's big. I mean, there's a lot of family values in Utah. We go to Utah quite a bit. I do like going there a lot, but it's not, how do I say this? You go any other state here, California, Nevada, it's night and day. It really is night and day. It is very family oriented in Utah. It's night and day.
I will tell you this about why I respect Mormons so much is that they're always kind people. Every interaction I've had with them, they're just great people. They're super nice, and they've really stuck with their beliefs. No matter how many times people will challenge them, you know, kid with them, whatnot, they're really stuck with their beliefs. And they, you know, like, they set their standard.
It's because they believe it.
They truly believe it. And, you know, they do things the polite way. If they don't like you, they'll just stop associating with you. They won't invite you to events or anything like that.
Right.
They're not just going to, like, debate you and argue with you, get in a fight with you over something like a religious topic. They just respect that others have certain beliefs. And if they don't align with their own, that's okay. You can coexist. But here, most of the United States is just, you're allowed to bash Christianity. I believe that. I see it all the time. You
Yep.
see it all the time, right?
Yep. The whole thing with the Dodgers.
But even here in the United States, you can't bash Islam at all without getting an enormous amount of criticism.
Nope, 100%.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to criticize Islam right now or anything like that. It's just, hey, if they believe that, hey, that's for them.
Well, it's like he said right now that totally made sense. Like, you know, let's accept everything so we can see if we can keep the doors open and lights on. And Muslims, they don't care. They have the numbers. All their people, like, they're gonna fight tooth and nail. Christians, they don't fight.
They don't stick to their standards, and it's easy
No.
to back away from Christianity. I mean, I don't know. I've heard a quote from Jordan Peterson that even if you're not a religious person, even if you're an atheist, it's still a good idea to live your life as if there is a God or there is Christianity. This way you have standards, and that you continue being a good person, and that you keep yourself accountable and in check, and understand consequences.
No, 100%. He said that. I've seen him say that, and he's right. Because you have standards. Treat people better, right? You know, if you're religious or trying to be religious, you're trying to be, you know, set a good example. But I don't know. I think we're all like, just like what's going on with Paris. We're just going to hell.
Well, yeah, I see that too, and everything going on. I mean, the culture clash is pretty rough. I also think that I was probably the first one in our family to like really detach away from Christianity, but now I'm kind of circling it back. I'm not saying like I believe in everything. It's just I don't know, but I know when I have kids and whatnot, I want them to have an understanding of something that's greater than you. Have some meaning. Probably take them to a Christian church. Have community. That's a very important thing that I think kids need to grow up with and be surrounded with good people around you. It's not to say that if you're an atheist, you could be a good person too, but it's hard to develop a community with that. It's hard to keep accountability. That there could be something higher up there that's watching your actions.
There's a lot of fake people though that go to church.
They're probably doing it for like reasons I was saying. Oops, I'm spilling my water. For reasons that I was saying, it's just community.
Mm-hmm.
Be around good, like-minded people.
Or look at
People
me,
with good
I'm a good
intentions.
person, and
But I mean,
I'm like, no, you're not. I know you.
sure, okay, but at least they're making the effort to go
Yeah, I
there,
hope so.
right?
I
Versus
hope
they're
so.
not, right? I mean, yeah, they could be like what you call fakers, but
Posers.
they have they could be posers. It's fine, but they have good intentions. So
I hope so. And maybe
I hope
them
so
being
too,
there,
right? I
they
mean,
hear
if you have
something.
ill intentions, you go to church. I mean, is that
Yeah.
really worth the effort?
It's not worth the effort. You're right. Maybe they're trying to change, but we'll see. But I think he has a point though. Like Andrew Tate's big time right now. Like a lot of people know about him.
Oh, I mean, a lot of young incels follow him, right? So that could be something that could
He's
convert a
getting-
lot of them
He's
too.
getting a lot of Muslims now on his side. Now that he converted, maybe can you imagine if he's just doing that to get those like votes or those hits, those links?
You might be thinking that I might be getting arrested again and thrown in jail, and then I can have this community back me because we're very soft on Islam and in Western cultures, and
Oh,
we
yeah.
easily bend the knee to them.
And the Muslims are gonna be like, he's one of ours now. He's one of our own. Stop.
Yeah, they might defend.
Wow. Can you imagine? And it's all
could
like
be a
tactic.
play.
Could be a great play.
It's a good move
It's a
if you
great
really think
move for
about
him
it.
and his brother because they're still in a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
Fake stuff, but whatever. I think in reality, they just hate the way he's using free speech and the way he is.
Mhm.
He's
well, his free speech gets a lot of people to listen to him. Who are those people that are listening to him? We all know they're the incels, the male incels who are in their 30s, still no girlfriend, they still live with their parents. A lot of them. He's trying to teach them to, hey, you need to be a man. Like,
he's
sack
just being
up.
honest, like nut up,
Mm-hmm.
nut up. But how are they going to vote, Republican or Democrat?
Mm-hmm.
They're probably scared they're going to vote Republican. So they want to shut him down. They want to shut him up. That's the way I look
Do you
at
think
it.
he's a Republican guy?
I think he's a capitalist. I think
Mm-hmm.
he's doesn't want government control. He doesn't want. I 100% could see him. He doesn't vote, right? He's not going to vote for our whatever. But think of how many American kids are probably listening to him, right? And thinking, hey, this is what his,
A lot of Americans listen to him.
like he has a lot. Like my son knows about him. He's 12 years old.
right?
He goes, Dad, do you know Andrew Tate? I'm like, no. Started watching, like, what?
I've heard a lot of women with children who just don't want their children to listen to them at all. Like, they go out of the way to make sure they're not listening to him. They hear him, like, this is why he's wrong, this and that.
But he's not. It's almost
I'm
like
saying.
free, like, motivation to get your kid off his ass, get a job,
Get off his ass. Become a man. Be tough.
right?
Be respected. Do things that women are attracted to men for.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. He's telling you what you need to do. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's like, you're a nice guy, but that girl's not going to date you. Why?
Yeah.
Because no one taught you to be a man. You're being walked over.
Yeah.
You're the gay friend. Do you want to be that?
Yeah.
Do you want to be the gay friend when you're trying to show this woman that you're compassionate for her, you're attracted to her?
Yeah.
But you don't have the balls to tell her that? It's like, just do things that better yourself. Go to the gym. Stop being so lazy. Stop playing so many
Yeah.
video games. Stop watching so much porn.
Yep, exactly.
Get a job. Get a better education. Be the man that women want to look up to.
Yep, and your kids want to look up to. Mm-hmm. Pull up, if you can, on Google, kind kind of since we're talking about this, another person who I think is up there, put Andy Elliott. See if that comes up. He's actually here in the Valley. Elliott Training Group is his company. This dude right here.
Like pull up his YouTube or
Yeah,
something.
you pull up his YouTube. He's the CEO of Elliott Group up in Scottsdale.
Did you want to say something before I play the video? Sorry, I was distracted.
This guy, if you don't know about him, you need to know about him. 100%. He's super motivational. He is a go-getter. He's 100%. But he's not just 100%. He's 100% all the time. And he tells you why and stuff. This guy is intense. This guy is in your face, but he has great intentions. Dude, what I love about this guy, and this is just me, he like his voice resonates, right? Like on my journey, a lot of people don't know, I almost hit 240, I hit 248, almost hit 250 pounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somehow I stumbled onto this guy and was able to lose a ton of weight from his motivation. He's like a sales guy, like motivational sales guy. But I took his intensity into like real life, right? Like he's hardcore. He's a ton of videos, like this and that. I was able to get down under 180 pounds because I'm listening to this guy. I'm motivated by this guy.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's intense, right? And I personally owe a lot. Like he was the number one motivational thing I was listening to, like how to be a man, this and that. Reminds me a lot of Andrew Tate. But what I like about this guy, he starts off his and he has this whole company's just like him. They all work out together. I mean, he is like hardcore. But he opens up. I saw a thing that they open up with a prayer every morning at work. So it's pretty cool. It is really cool. Like that spoke to me. I was like, this guy, like he cares about his people. Like honestly, start watching his videos. Like you'll get inspiration from this guy. And if
he's a inspirational speaker, right?
Yeah, he might be too much for some people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for people need to hear his message. I think he's great. If you want to play a video, I don't know if this is the right video, but let's see what happens.
It's on his front of his page, so
Okay.
maybe he wants this to be the intro to new viewers. Let me play it right now.
Be like somebody, at least for a couple hours a day. It's this dude.
Yep.
If you guys are going to build a company or even want to be the best that you can be, you're going to have to reach for more. And this dude will make you change your mind.
I have what I would call the best sales trainer I have ever met.
He's the best sales coach in the world right now.
It's intense.
One of the best trainers in the entire country when it comes down to sales.
That's not a show. I've been to people's events and I've been to people's offices where they're putting on a show. This is not a show. This is how they live.
That's him. Crazy.
You can say this the latest of the greats. I always keep the statement up to date by the way that I elevate above the ranks on the way with the fleet.
So those of you listening, showing highlights of who he is with the music video.
Look at that.
I want to just mute this. We might get flagged on YouTube for playing a certain amount of
Oh,
music.
okay.
I don't think that he's talking. I mean, I don't have a clip of him talking, so I might just look for that real quick.
But he's super motivational. This dude is.
I guess so.
He's the best. You know, he has a house where we have property in Mexico.
Yeah.
He has a house in San Carlos.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right? How crazy to be down there and like run into him.
Let me see. Let me look up his most popular. This is how you dominate a room. So let me play that real quick.
Up, you loser. Right? Hey, how you doing, man? Andy Alley. Hope you have the best day of your life. What's your name, sir? Cash. Cash? Nice to meet you, man. Love that name. Now let me get some money. Hey, I'm gonna bust his ass up right out the gate. What am I gonna say? My name's Andy Elliott. I'm here to give you world-class customer service and serve your family in all the highest levels that are important to you and your family. I'm here. I got you. #1 store in the country, and we're gonna show you why. You here for sales or service? Can I walk you over to service? Here to see someone? You here for sales? Here for sales? My man. Can I help you find somebody, or do I get the honor today? See the eyes? They light up. See the mouth? It smiles. You know what's going on? What's your name?
He's the Terminator. He's freaking Terminator, bro. Trust me, there's a ton of videos like super motivational, like the way he is, like, dude, he's like this 24/7.
I mean, for motivation, everyone lacks self-motivation. Sometimes it does help to hear someone else motivate you and get you going. Self-motivation is probably the hardest thing to do, because first thing you wake up in the morning, do you make your bed, not make your bed? You know, can you have that drill sergeant in your ear telling you make your bed, do it right, have a standard, cook, don't order out, do it yourself.
Yeah, meal prep. Don't be going out.
Don't be going out spending that money. And then do some push-ups, get a sweat going, do it for 30 minutes.
That's why I work out first thing in the morning, then go to work. Doesn't matter what time it is. 4:30 when my gym opens up, Mountainside Fitness. I'm there at 4:30 because of this dude.
Because self-motivation is very hard.
But he reminds me of he looks just like my old drill instructor, Staff Sergeant Johnson. Just like him, acts just like him. Same body, dude. Just yoked to like 5% body fat. I don't know what he has, but my Staff Sergeant Johnson, dude, he's one guy that believed in me, like always pushed me, and that's why I was able to finish as a squad leader in the United States Marine Corps. And you remember, you were a little kid back then when you went to that. That's who pushed me, and I think I see that in him. That's why I'm a big fan of his, which is weird. It's almost like being a fanboy. It's so weird being at this age and being like, this dude's the shit, but he's the shit. Motivational wise, dude, I'm telling you, watch this guy. He talks about sales and stuff. He's a sales trainer. You know, I do sales. I follow his lead. He's tremendous, you know, tremendous. So Andy Elliott is the shit. And one of these days I'm gonna run into him in San Carlos.
There's the biggest one I think is Tony Robbins.
Not a fan of Tony Robbins.
Dude, he's like the biggest one in the world.
He is, but he doesn't resonate with me. He doesn't resonate with me, and not like Andy Elliott does. You got to have someone that's motivational, like PBD. I love watching PBD. I didn't know PBD talked about him right there.
Neither did I. I know he was in sales, and you could tell by his mannerisms.
Yeah, he's
a sales, right? He just has that persona.
So it's cool to see that someone that I like watching, that, you know, PBD, that says, oh, he's the best sales trainer. I was like, well, wait. Did they talk about Andy Elliott? Like, he knows about Andy Elliott too? A lot of people know about Andy Elliott. He's legit. His wife's legit too. Like, watch his wife. Dude, it's not just him. Him and his wife, dude, they're cut from the same cloth. They are freaking Spartans.
That's another thing for men. If you have that kind of motivation, especially in self-motivation, it resonates confidence. And if you show you're a confident person, you'll open up more opportunities. I think it was that Navy SEAL, who was it? Jocko? He says, discipline is freedom. I believe that.
Yeah, discipline is freedom.
If you have self-discipline and you do things like go to the gym, get it done, go to work, get it done.
Even when you're not feeling it, just by being
that
there.
is the hurdle you have to get over, because all the time it's like, I really don't want to work out.
You gotta be constant. You gotta be constant with it.
That moment when you do accomplish that, you do work out, you leave there with a greater sense of feeling that you accomplished it. You got over yourself. You had the right amount of self-motivation to do it, and you're capable of doing it and doing it again.
Yeah. I'm telling you, dude, watch his videos, you'll get motivated and you'll be like, this guy's for real. What else we got?
Anything else on that? I mean, we were just talking about migrants and stuff.
Yep.
Right? So I got this that came up about, hey, you know, there's some migrants. Let me zoom this in. From Insider, the Greek authorities stood by as migrant ship that capsized, leaving hundreds dead, drifted off course for nearly 7 hours. Some bullet point facts is that hundreds of migrants are presumed dead after the ship capsized in the Ionian Sea on the 14th of June. The Greek Coast Guard claimed the ship was not in need of immediate rescue. Tracking data shows the boat was drifting off coast for several hours, New York Times reported. So this is something that I mentioned about, like, okay, with migrants again, here's hundreds of migrants in need of help. A lot of them died. No one really puts in the resources to help them out because they're poor. They're migrants.
They're migrants.
They're trying to come in.
They're trying to escape something, to have a better life. But we care about billionaires in a submarine that they put themselves in a bad situation, right? Like, let's go ahead and waste all those resources on, and we all know they died right away too. We all know that, but like all these people, and this is a story we had to find, that we came across by accident, but it should be front page news, right?
Well, why isn't it?
Because they're migrants,
right?
They have no worth, supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
In the eyes of whoever, mainstream media, we care about the billionaires that, they're down by the Titanic, this and that. No, we should be caring about human lives.
Yeah, exactly,
human capital.
'cause migrants are just like anyone else. You got some good ones, you got some bad ones. Same with anything else in society. We definitely got some bad millionaires out there, bad elitists out there.
Well, we have a bunch of bad billionaires that are old money, that are out of touch, and they look at the immigrants and migrants and they're like, but in reality, maybe your great great grandfather was a migrant, right?
I mean, most people who are not Native Americans in the United States, they have
migrants.
a lineage of migrants.
Yeah,
you
were
came
a
in from
migrant.
greater
Yeah,
opportunities.
you come from a migrant.
And it's very hypocritical of you to be like bashing on migrants now.
Yeah, because that's
You're
how
a
you.
descendant of one.
That's how you have this wonderful life here in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Because someone in your lineage was a migrant.
The United States is the prime example of what can be accomplished when migrants come here, when they want a better life. They're willing to sacrifice
Because
everything.
they're hungry. They're hungry and they're going to build
And they're
cities.
getting away from their oppressive government.
Yes.
It's telling you that everything you do is basically illegal except paying taxes.
Yes. And it goes back to the whole border thing that we talked about. I believe in a closed border. Closed to a degree, but migrants, man, like,
You
they
need a
built this
filtration
country.
process. I get that.
But it's streamlined, something faster, not just like, cool, here's your number, we'll call you in 7 years.
Yeah, okay.
That's what
I'm
it
already
is.
here, and you want me to wait 7 years at least, right?
So what do I do now? Well, go to a different country. You go to Mexico, and they're gonna be like, they'll kick you out.
Mm-hmm.
They'll send you to El Salvador. You're not from El Salvador. So it sucks. Or what am
There
I?
is I wonder if I could show you this. Even there's a strong network of Chinese migrants that have like checkpoints of where they help people out through through Mexico and how to get to the border and get to the United States. I will show you this I'll research this.
There's no way you'll find it during this. So
They're very sophisticated. It's actually pretty.
So he's saying that Chinese have a way to get here through Mexico. Is that correct? A network to get here. That sounds crazy.
I will find this. Hold on.
I mean, there's a lot of there's a reason why there's a lot of Chinese here, because they were slaves. They were brought here. They worked on the railroads, in San Francisco during the gold rushes. That's why there's so many Chinatowns. But
I think I found.
and
the video,
then
but
my kid's school is
I travel a lot for work.
is a big Chinese. They teach Mandarin, so there's teachers from China that are at the school, and a lot of Chinese kids in here. And dude, Chinese people are awesome. They're nice people.
I mean, are they all Chinese or are they just Asian? And you're just calling them
No, they're
Chinese?
Chinese. They're Chinese. I went to sixth grade science camp, and I got to meet some of the instructors, the teachers, and their kids.
I
Yeah.
think I found it. Let me show
They
you
are
here.
super Chinese.
A growing number of Chinese migrants are crossing into the United States from Mexico without visas, taking irregular overland routes across Latin America. Over the course of 3 weeks, Reuters witnessed hundreds of Chinese nationals along an isolated border stretch in southeastern Texas. Reuters interviewed more than 24 of them. All of those interviewed said they got the idea to take the land route on social media and drew on influencers, private groups, and comments to plan their trips.
People view, the police view as the American. That's the America that you may have.
Dude, these people just want a better life.
Mm-hmm.
Who are we to take that away from them, right? I hate when people are like, oh, they didn't get here legally. Put yourself in their situation. Like, look at the humane part of this, not the, I'm American, I'm better than you. Stop that.
Oh, I don't like that either. That drives me crazy. It's like a superiority complex, And you're just here because one of your ancestors got here. They fought for everything to get here. They struggled. They sacrificed everything for their children to get here. And now you're here,
And you're
being a spoiled little kid
Yep.
with the superiority complex, looking down on people. You have the nerve to look down on people? Like, seriously? It's your fellow human beings. Let me guess, you're a Christian? Oh, crap.
Guess what? Jesus was a migrant. Boom.
Migrant from where?
Uh,
think this is just a normal couple.
You pull up the map of Israel, Bethlehem, and all these other old school cities that are in the Bible are separated from in different countries.
Sorry, I don't want dead air space. What were we saying? The last one?
Oh, nothing. You're pulling up TikTok. That's a Chinese company. You're gonna pull up more of the immigrant.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty interesting what you just showed us. I mean, that's pretty sophisticated.
Yeah, I mean that was one of them. There was one that was more in detail of it, of like how they get in contact, who helped them out throughout the way, what are the checkpoints.
Is
like,
it
was really
other
well done.
Chinese helping Chinese, or
Yeah,
wow,
it was.
It's like a Chinese cartel.
Mhm. Something like that, and it's just a way to just help them out to how they can cross into the United States. and
Yeah.
do it the most safe way possible. I mean, it's just Chinese hooking Chinese up though. But it even shows that like even the Chinese are rushing out of China. Is China that great of a country? If
No, it
people are willing
sucks.
to
It
flee
sucks.
from there
It
and get to
sucks.
the United States?
Well, think about like what is it? Climate control. Like, do you believe in climate control? Do you think we're burning?
I mean, I think so.
So what's the answer? Getting rid of all these coal factories?
I don't think that's the answer, but it could be a contributing thing. Could be.
Okay,
With
so
the
you're
amount of
saying-
CO2 that's in the atmosphere.
So you're
because of it.
saying all these coal factories contribute to climate, right?
One of many.
One of many.
One of many. I'm not saying it's like if we were to shut down coal factories, it's not going to be the answer.
So why are we talking about climate control and we don't ask China to jump in on that?
We can ask them, but we
Oh,
can't
I
force
forgot. They're already communists, so it doesn't matter.
them. I mean, they emit more CO2 than us. We can only control what we do. That's it.
So why are we? It's like a losing battle, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Climate control. If China's building more factories, they're building like 7
Mhm.
more factories, like big time factories, coal burning factories.
Mm-hmm.
If we're telling everyone in the Western states to stop this and that, stop gas stoves and all this, go electric car, whatever, and China and India aren't, like,
From my understanding, I could be wrong, that China is aware of this and they're trying to clean up a little bit. And they're having a booming economy with electric cars too.
they're such a dirty, like, you look at a Chinese skyline and it's smog.
So I've been through the waters of Asia because we used to do, when I was in the Navy, we used to just do figure eights all day in the Chinese man-made islands. And they just chase us, tell us to go away, and we're telling them freedom navigation because we don't recognize these islands. But when you go to like the waters around China and Southeast Asia, you see trash for miles before you see the land. Like, it is filthy. It is sad to see how polluted the waters are. It's so bad compared to like here in the U.S. I don't know how it is in like South America or anything, but
I've seen the videos of all that trash, miles and miles of trash.
Just trash. And that's not even talking about Trash Island. This is just trash just like near the coast. And it is just like, you don't even see the water. All you see is
It's
that
just
you're just
trash.
sailing
It's just a
through
bunch of trash. It's like, it's crazy that it's like that. But you know what you just said, something that caught my eye too, is the man-made islands. I've seen video of the man-made islands, and you know they're talking about how they're trying to create more and more, and China's saying no, because you own X amount of sea space, right, past your borders, and a lot of countries are like, dude, you can't do that. You can't be creating these islands and expect us to say, you know, you own these waters as well. You know, just like you said, you did figure eights all the time, and they were like, go away. And you're like, we don't recognize these man-made islands.
Mhm.
You know, so
Yeah, that was interesting. Those are some
That's
interesting
another
facts.
topic. We should have more research. You just pulled something up that I want to talk about.
Okay.
I love this dude. Obsessed with this dude. Obsessed how he gets away with everything.
Do you want to read it for our listeners?
Life in the fast lane, how reckless Hunter Biden photographed himself driving at 172 miles per hour while behind the wheel of his Porsche en route to a days-long Vegas bender with prostitutes and pictured himself smoking crack while behind the wheel. What are you doing? Like he's taking pictures of his naked body like he's some sexy
taking
thing.
selfies of him
Dude, look
being
at him.
naked.
Like, dude, come on. Who are you sending these pictures to?
He even took the picture of how fast he was going. He has a crack pipe right
dude.
there while he's driving.
You can't get arrested for that.
What are you talking about? You have a crack pipe.
Can you get arrested for taking a picture of a crack pipe? You're going
Oh,
172
showing
miles?
I mean, that's the evidence of this is me, Brett.
But that's, am I crazy to
no,
think
I know
that's
what you're
not
talking about.
evidence?
If it was me and I took a picture of that, of me with a crack pipe speeding on my social media, the cops will be knocking my door within like an hour, for sure. But if your name is Hunter Biden,
I'm telling you.
nope. He's okay. He's okay. He's cool.
You guys are adopting. Oh my gosh.
I hate this guy, but he's hilarious. Like, oh my god, he's like.
Who's taking that picture?
Yeah, who's taking the picture too? Because
This dude goes on benders.
Okay, well, before I'm not gonna accuse what type of person this is, what this lady does, but the caption says
10,000 a night?
This is Hunter with a naked lady, probably at a hotel. Looks like the trip Hunter raced to appeared
Probably.
to be
She
the
is
same fateful week-long Vegas bender. He was later caught on camera describing to a prostitute, claiming that Russia drug dealers stole one of his laptops and left him for dead in the hot tub.
Dude, this dude is just too much. Like, look at these text messages. What are these?
Okay, hold on. What does it say?
Sorry, baby, I am literally right around the corner. And then, at least from her, no, baby, I don't have a bathing suit, and I really, really wanted to wear a cute bathing suit. But I don't have any money to buy one, so then I'm just going to have to be naked, right? Wow. And then this one was to say, honestly, babe, the problem is you have too many girls there. I understand you like a lot of girls, but that's fine. Do one at a time at the tops, to which is fine, but just hire the second girl for like 1 hour. So I wonder if these are probably prostitutes sending him these messages.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's right here, it says, the last one is, sorry, I'm not trying to tell you what to do here, but you even offered me more money this morning and I didn't take it or asked, and trust me, I needed it. But I like you and I think you're a great person and we are very similar and have a lot in common. That has to be the prostitute sending that to him or him.
We have a lot in common. Oh my god, how? Like,
Or maybe
a child of a politician?
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Like,
Hunter.
This is
What's
one-
this? Oh, these are just chicks on his Porsche? Hunter's daughter, Naomi. I heard some crazy things about that he's been partying with his daughter. Naomi's daughter's 29.
He's a character, man. Oh my gosh. Like, the child that can get away with anything can do no wrong.
He's like the Kevin McAllister grown up,
Mhm.
right? Grew up in a rich family, probably given everything, right? Like his dad probably never said no. He probably got in trouble at school, but they got, think about him in high school and college. He probably did so many bad stuff, and they somehow swept it under the rug. Oh, your dad's Hunter Biden. Imagine, or your dad's Joe Biden. Imagine, he gets in trouble. The dean calls Joe, and Joe's like, I'm on my way there. Shows up. Your son did this, this, and that. Oh, cool. I'm Joe Biden. So, do you not know who I am? Oh yeah, Joe, I got it. Think about it. You're gonna be on. You're gonna be like, Joe, it's no problem. He's not gonna get in trouble. Think about how many times he probably got DUI. Would have got a DUI.
Should have.
The cops were like, Joe, we got your kid. You want to pick him up? And he's probably, yeah, sure. And picks him up. No ticket.
He should at least have jail time.
Oh, for what he did?
For everything.
For
even,
everything.
Even
He won't
this
see a day.
alone,
He
for
won't
having
see a
a
day.
crack pipe in his hand,
He won't see a day.
he won't see a day.
He won't see a day.
Because he
It'll be-
can break the law all he wants. But if it was me,
Yeah.
I'd be in jail for years.
And he will not see a day.
Mhm.
Like I said, if I'm Hunter, I'm going straight edge here. What does his wife think? Like, we haven't even talked about his wife.
Probably just like, I got money, he's paying me up. Maybe it's just a deal. You don't know. I mean, come on, dude. Your significant other is out there banging prostitutes, smoking crack, speeding, risking other people's lives.
And it's all out there on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
He has a 29-year-old daughter. Like, what does she
I didn't know
think?
that either.
What does she think?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
And how are you gonna grow up like that? You know, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're a Biden,
Get away with anything. I'd say I wish I was a Biden.
you can get away with anything. It's so crazy.
Yeah. But then I'm Mexican, so all right. What's next?
Um,
What I have a prediction for. We are running out of time. Let's go with do you think we can knock this one out?
this one,
The Spider-Verse.
Spider. Yeah, let's talk about it. Go ahead and talk about because you saw. It, I didn't see it
So
yet.
I took my son. Our thing is going to movies, which is cool. We actually went to go see Transformers, but it was sold out. How crazy is that? Sold out. I was pretty mad. It was Saturday night. I was at Chandler Mall. How stupid for me to think that because I didn't want to pay $3 extra for the fees online. And I was like, it's right down the street. Let's just go. Well, no big deal. Who's gonna watch Transformers? It's been out for a while. Sold out. I was like, damn. And I was like, I told him, he's like disappointed. And I was like, we can watch Spider-Man? And he's like, yeah, let's watch that. I'm like, cool. So we ended up getting tickets for Spider-Man. There's tons of tickets for that. And it was visually stimulating. You know, did you watch the first one?
I don't know that was the first one.
Oh, you didn't watch the first one? Dude, you're missing out.
Is it like this where it's like cartoon?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
It's legit.
Can
It's
you even watch it
animated.
on Disney Plus or
It's
is
not cartoon, it's animated. There's a difference.
There is really.
Yeah, I don't know if there is or not. It just doesn't. It's not a cartoon. It's not like a regular, like you're watching it like a Disney cartoon. It has crazy animation, like crazy animation. Okay, because it jumps to like, what's that Japanese anime? It jumps to anime, and it's just visually awesome to watch. So it's about this guy Miles Morales gets bit by a spider, and becomes a Spider-Man. Without giving out the story, if you watch the first one, you'll be like, oh, okay, I get it. But when you watch this one, it all ties together. And you know, it's just good. You have to watch the first one to understand what's going on in the second one, obviously. So you see right now, there's like on this other side with Gwen Stacy, she's a Spider-Woman in a different dimension. These are all different Spider-Mans in different dimensions, right? And the one on the, if you're looking at it, the one on top of Gwen Stacy is like the head Spider-Man of all the Spider-Verse. And I say Spider-Verse because there's like a headquarters where all the Spider-Men from all different multiverses hang out and like check in. It's crazy. It's super crazy. There's like hundreds. And they're all chasing this kid because I don't want to spoil it, but you gotta watch it and you'll see why. But it's good. There's all different types of Peter Parkers. There's different, Spider Women, and they all have different stories. It's pretty cool. Nicolas Cage is in it. He's a Spider-Man. He's like a Batman Spider-Man. Pretty cool. But it's a great. I liked it. I thought it was really good. And there's obviously no end credit. Marvel usually have end credits for their movies, but this is an animation. And I think it's mostly Sony. It's not really Marvel, but it's good. It's definitely. I know it's an 8.9 out of 10. It's about that. It's good. It's borderline great. The story's great, but it's visually entertaining as well. I can't believe you haven't seen the first one. The first one's great.
Where can I watch the first one?
Great question. Shoot, where can you watch it? I wonder if you can watch it on Disney Plus. I'll find out for you. I'll tell you.
I thought like Spider-Man is owned by like Sony. That's why it's difficult to watch Spider-Man movies on Disney Plus.
It is.
You have to watch it on what? Is it Stars?
I think it's Stars.
Is Stars owned? Is
Stars
Stars
might
owned by
have
Sony or something like that?
Maybe. I did see that.
Double check that. Is Stars?
I don't know which one it is, but it is. Maybe it's on HBO.
No, I don't think it's.
Maybe Netflix has it. Netflix has had it before. Remember Netflix used to have Star Wars stuff?
Well, now that it's owned by Disney.
Yeah. Well, when that happened, they took them all off. That was kind of cool.
But then it was weird because like when the second Avatar movie came out, it came out with both on HBO and Disney Plus.
What'd you think of that second Avatar?
It was just visually appealing. Story was a little.
Story's off. I couldn't connect it. Not as great. I think they fast forward too much.
Well, yeah, I'd say they fast forwarded too much. There could have been something in between, sure. I don't know about the story about the villain from the first one coming back as a clone, and then went to hunt him again, and
yep.
I think, and they're on the run. And although they're on the run, they still brought the problems with them.
Yep.
I think there could have been just a new problem that came back, a different problem. Like, because he fought, he was a colonel, right? You just had the general and a greater fleet come in and they deal with that. You know, it's just.
But it was a whole year before they, like, it jumps a year. It shows them coming in, the sky people coming, which is, humans. And it shows that, he talks about they were fighting, blah, blah, and the whole year goes by.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's where it starts off. And like, what happened the whole year? There's a lot that probably happened in a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then they take a year to clone the guy. Like, I don't know.
Something like that. Plus, I mean, they fast forward, they became a chief, and then he has all these kids. So there's like at least a decade has happened.
Oh yeah, his kids all grew up. Oh, it's almost 20 years that he's been on that planet,
right?
Oh yeah, because he has his oldest is probably 16. They has to be up there. But yeah, it shows him become like, I don't know if he was a chief, but he was high up there at the end. But then he leaves all the tree people and goes to the water. Like, so what happened to all the tree people?
So yeah, I mean, well, he left them to protect them, right? So they're not getting followed. But even still, because you see a scene, I don't know if I want to spoil this, that they go to the water people and they're just interrogating them. Who's to say they weren't interrogated before? The people he left behind, like I guess we call them tree people.
Yeah.
So that could have happened. We didn't see that. But overall, the story could have been better. Because the story on the first one was great.
The first one was awesome.
Great.
It's just something we've never seen. It took forever. How many years do you think it was from the first one to this one? At least a decade, right?
Something like that.
It's a long time. That's a long
Maybe 15
time.
years, I think. I'm thinking about that.
15 years? Dude, that's a long time.
I mean, I guess I could quickly Google that,
You
right?
could quickly do a quick search. When did Avatar come out? And we'll have our answer pretty quick. And it's the next one comes out December 25, 2009. That is 14 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
That is a long time. So, yeah, because I really liked the first one. It made a lot of sense. I understood it.
The first one was great.
Second one was like...
Zoe Saldana. She's been in so many like good movies franchises.
Mm-hmm.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
She must be so loaded, dude.
She's what?
She must be so loaded in money.
She's probably loaded.
And but yeah.
But there's
first
only...
Avatar I really liked. The second one, I mean, if you were to rate it between a 1 to 10, what would you give it?
The first Avatar?
Second. Oh, well, okay. Well, let's do that. Tell me what you thought the first one would be, and then the second.
Well, the first one easily was a 10. It was
10 out of 10.
Yeah,
like, that's a perfect movie.
Well, this 9.8, 9.7. Dude, it was that great. It was that. But then again, you got to look at the guy was, Sam Worthington was kind of a hot actor at the time. I don't mean like physically looking. I mean hot, like demanding.
Yeah, because
like
he was on Terminator and all these other
movies. He was
movies,
in Terminator. He was in that Clash of the Titans.
Yes.
Which was pretty good, actually. And so he was a hot name in Hollywood, and he was in this. And, Sigourney Weaver, Michelle Rodriguez was just coming off of like the first Fast and Furious and stuff. She was a very hot actress as well, as far as like what Hollywood wanted. I'm looking at this box office. Did The Way of the Water really make $2.9 billion?
The Way of the Water?
Yeah, it's right there. It's sequel.
I'm looking at the first
Oh
one.
no, it's the first one. Okay. Oh yeah. Box office. Yeah, the first one made almost $3 billion. That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
Of course, you're gonna make sequels when you've.
Yeah,
That's
but
a
it took them
lot.
that long to make a sequel, though.
Took too long. Why do you think that is?
I have no idea, because if you had a success like that, you'd want to make a
You
sequel right
cash
away.
out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's cash out. It's like 2 years. We're gonna come out with another one. But then think a story. Something must have happened for them to wait that long.
Mm-hmm. But
I'm looking at it's 13 years in between movies. December 18, 2009.
mm-hmm.
And then
So-
Way of the Water came out December 16,
What about
22.
how would you rate the second movie?
Oh, COVID happened. That's why they didn't want to release it.
Oh, they want it to be I mean, they still had plenty of more time before COVID,
Yeah, but it's supposed to come out 2019 or 2020.
and they're like, no, this movie has to be in theaters. We'll
Has
wait.
to be in theaters. Has to be in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dune was like the first major movie that they put out, not in the theaters, but like
in streaming during COVID.
I wish I would have saw that in theaters.
I understand.
Dune was a good movie.
So second Avatar movie,
6.
you give it 6? I'd say so. Yeah,
The
I
only
agree
thing
with
that
6.
saved it is the visually, like you said.
It was very visually appealing.
Yeah,
They did pretty good with character development with like the kids,
with the stories and stuff.
Mhm.
I think what you almost need more character development. Like I didn't know that was the dude's son.
Mhm.
Like what? Like
Yeah, I mean they explained it a few times too,
yeah, which is crazy to me. But
but they don't like say who his mom is and
yeah, well,
like did he just
6.
I mean, he was
Six
a
isn't
colonel.
low.
Did
Yeah,
he just
6 isn't
did he
low
bang
either.
an E4? Like, is it an illegitimate kid?
Yeah.
You never hear about the kid in the first movie.
Oh, dude, it says right there. Why did Avatar take 13 years?
Okay, I'll
Click that, sucker. Oh, underwater CGI took so long. Oh, that makes sense.
All right.
The special effects, they wanted to get it right.
Sure, all that. Because there was no sloppy work whatsoever with the
No,
special
it
effects.
was great.
That was one criticism the Flash had was sloppy special
Did you watch
effects.
Flash?
Yeah.
The CGI sucked.
Yeah, that was a huge criticism for the movie.
The Flash was like,
And then you see Avatar 2, it's like super well polished.
oh, you see Avatar 2 and you're like, wow, this is nice. Like, no flaws. Flash looked like, is this a B movie? Like, dude, this is bad. Like, not the CGI, the fight scenes. It was some bad editing.
Yeah.
Or they made some bad decisions.
Yeah. I don't know why they approved a lot of the bad CGI. It could have been like, no, polish this up more. Make it more realistic, not like
Yep.
a weird 3D render.
Especially the fight scenes. Like, I was like, this is fake.
I mean, yeah, it all's fake, but it's just like, it's just too obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was too obvious. Shoot, that's all I got.
Mm-hmm. That's all I got, too.
We hit our mark, so I guess next week we'll let's keep some of this stuff for next week.
Okay.
And I think that's all. I mean, what do we got going on? 4th of July in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
After that,
So, I mean, this video will probably be posted by 4th of July anyway. Tuesday.
God willing. God willing.
Mm-hmm.
But do you have anything that we just said that you want to like?
Is there anything coming up in the near future?
No.
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 Let's just end it.
Indiana Jones is coming out.
Mm.
Oh, some other movies. We'll talk about it then. We'll just end it from here, and we hit our mark. So until next time, like and subscribe to all your friends.